Hey everyone, welcome back to another vinyasa practice. My name is Sarah. Today we're going to be flowing through what I've called a Mocha Flow. And if you haven't had a mochaccino before, I would so recommend it. Basically, you have the base of coffee, which is energetic and it lifts you up pretty much, gets you going for the day. But then you also have the chocolate in there, which is sweet and it's smooth and it makes it so yummy. So this flow is going to be a little bit of both, a little bit of sweetness and slowness, but also have a little bit of strength and a little bit of a kick in there at some points. So yeah, before we get into our practice, I wanted to bring in a little bit of yoga philosophy that kind of connects to this theme of balance. So there are three types of energies that everything around us, including our body, including our mind, consists of according to yoga philosophy. And these are called the gunas. Now, the first guna is tamas, and tamas is really slow and heavy and creates a sense of inertia. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, you have a guna called rajas, and rajas is completely opposite. It is all about action. It's all about getting up and going. Then the third guna is sattva, and sattva doesn't have any of these qualities. It's kind of like this still, has a very tranquil quality about it, very much about clarity. And this is kind of the state that we generally want to be in. That's kind of an in-between state. Of course, there will be times where we go into a state of tamas or we go into a state of rajas, but we want to be able to regulate ourselves and come back through center and find balance. Anyway, that was just a little drop of philosophy in there. We're going to get started in a seated position. So feel free to cross your legs over. Maybe you'd like to come into a kneeling position. I would recommend if you had a pillow or a block or something nearby that you'd like to bring in, feel free to do so. And just close down the eyes once you have landed in a seated position that feels good for you. Take a moment to allow the awareness of the mind to draw inwards a little bit more. Noticing what energy you have turned up on your mat with. Noticing how you might need to find balance today. Do you need a little bit more of that slowness, that kind of heaviness? Do you need a little bit more of the activeness? And maybe you lean into those moments as we move through our class today. And that's going to allow us to find our center point to help regulate ourselves. Let's connect with the breath. So taking a deep breath in through the nose, fill up the belly, expand the ribs to the side and to the front and the back, feeling the collarbone expand and broaden. As you exhale, drawing the abdominal wall in, feeling the lungs deflate, the shoulders soften down the back. Inhaling through the nose. When you feel like you've inhaled all that you can you breathe in a little bit more? Maybe a little bit more. Exhale, let the breath go. Same thing at the bottom. Can you empty out the lungs, completely finding the bottom of your breath? We want our breath to be balanced in our practice today. So at any point, if you notice yourself not breathing or finding really shallow breaths, take a moment to deepen your breath, as often that connects to the state of our awareness, our consciousness. Often it means that our mind is kind of floating away. So deepening the breath, allowing the connection with our mind, our movement to become more centered. maybe with the eyes closed, we'll just start to move the ribs around in a circle. So shifting your ribs forward and then to the side and then to the back and then to the other side. You might use your hands on your legs to help encourage this movement. So finding a pull and a push. And then swapping directions of the circle. You can even get the shoulders in as well, curling the shoulders through and then pulling them back. When you're opening the chest to the front, you want to take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, you want to think ribs to the back. Come back through center. We're going to continue these rolls, but we're going to add in some arm movements as well. Finding Garundasana arms, eagle arms. Let's cross the right elbow on top of the left. You can either clasp hands to the opposite shoulder. If you felt warm enough, you could spiral your hands, pressing the palms together. Keep moving the ribs around in that circle, but you want to bring the fingertips in as well. So maybe creating a small circle or a big circle with the fingertips. And then swapping directions of the circle. This is such a good movement to open through the back, kind of the rhomboid area, the lats, the erector spinae, the muscles down the spine. Let's swap the arms, but before we do, clasp the hands behind to the back, take a deep breath in as you open the chest, pull the knuckles down. Exhale to hold, rotate your shoulders into the back sockets. Okay, other side, left elbow comes on top, right elbow underneath, finding your arm variation of choice, taking a deep breath in, and then as you exhale, finding a circle in one direction. So you can almost imagine cat and cows in this. And then switching directions of the circle. And then coming back through center, clasping the hands behind the back. Other hand comes on top this time. Take a breath in as you open the back. Squeeze the knuckles down. Exhale to hold. Okay. Release the hands. If you've got anything underneath you, just move it to the side. Find your way in a tabletop position. So hands under shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We're not going to stay here for too long. Plant the right hand down. Left toes extend to the back of the mat. Then rotate your right toes to the side. Left hand is going to reach up to the sky, modified side plank. Little engagement through the glutes, pushing your hips forward a little bit. Then reach your left hand towards the front. Take a deep breath in through the nose as you lift up. And then as you exhale, circle the fingertips down to the ground. Breathe in as you open the left hand up to the sky and then reach it forward. Exhale to circle back down. One more big breath in through the nose. Exhale to circle down. Take one more breath in. This time as you exhale, we're going to lower the hips down to the ground. Right foot connects to the inside of the left thigh, returning to the back of the mat. Take a deep breath in through the nose. As you exhale, fold yourself forward. Doesn't have to be too much here. Janu Shasana, head to knee pose. Not expecting the head to come to the knee, but that's just the pose name. Relax the upper back. Feeling some length down the hamstring, the left hamstring, maybe the back as well. Let's flow through that side plank one more time. Breathe in as you push the right hand down to the front of the mat. Lift your hips, reach your left hand forward. Exhale to hold. Maybe you push your hips forward a little bit and open the chest to the side. Lower your hips down to the ground. Breathe in, turn to the back. Exhale, fold forward again. Come back through center, plant the right hand down, keep your right knee bent. You're gonna step your left foot up and over about halfway up the mat. So the left toes are facing to the side. And all I invite you to do here is just create some movement with the hips, within the shoulders, within the spine. If you're confused about where we are, just have a look at the at the screen. There's not going to be one place that, what am I trying to say? It doesn't really matter what this looks like. It's more what it feels like. So what I kind of like to do is rotate my chest to the ground and then open the chest back. And I find this feels really nice for kind of the spine as well as the hips. Sometimes I like to press my left hand into the left thigh to open the left knee behind a bit more. Let's take one more breath. As you're ready for it, circle the left hand down to the ground, come back into a tabletop position just for a moment, tuck onto the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Lift one heel off the ground and then lift the other heel off as you drive the other foot down. Just creating some space down the back of the legs, through the spine, through the shoulders. Something that I really like to do is to drop heels to one side and then kind of bend the knees, sinking hips towards the heels. Creating some length down the side body. And then when you're ready, let's come back through center. We're going to try that on the other side. Right foot extends to the back of the mat. Land the right heel down as you turn your left toes to the side. Reach your right hand high. Breathe in as you reach the right hand to the front of the mat. As you exhale, circle the fingertips down to the ground. Breathe in as you open and expand again, lifting your hips up. As you exhale, twist the heart to the space of the ground. Breathing in to lift. Let's go one more. Exhale. Inhale. Use your next exhale. Lower the hips down to the ground. Left foot connects to the right inner thigh. Take a breath in as you lift up tall, facing the back of the mat. As you exhale, fold yourself forward. You might have a bend in your right knee here. In fact, I would probably encourage it if you're feeling quite tight. That's just going to ease any sort of pressure within the leg or the spine. Let's flow through those two movements one more time. So walk your hands back, left hand plants down. Breathe in as you lift your hips up. Maybe opening the chest a little bit, finding kind of a modified wild thing. Exhale to hold. Breathe in as you lower your hips down, turn to the back. Exhale, fold. Walk yourself back. Kind of keep your left leg where it is. Left hand is going to plant back forward, but your right foot is going to step up and over halfway up the mat. Right toes turning to the side. Again, I encourage you to find movement here, kind of twisting, pushing, leaning. You might even close down the eyes so you don't have to think about too much about what it looks like. Maybe move your arms, maybe you shift towards the back. Finding Ardha Matsyendrasana, which is our half Lord of the Fish pose, big twist. Noticing where you can feel this in your body. Noticing where you can breathe into. And then when you're ready, bring the right hand back down to the front. Find your tabletop position again. So right knee and left knee underneath the hips. Just like we did before. Tuck onto the toes. Lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Maybe a little pedal out of your feet here. And then find a moment of stillness. Pressing through each knuckle, the tops of the fingers, the bottom of the fingers, the palm. Use your next breath in to walk your feet up towards your hands. Take your feet a little bit wider. Okay, so to the edge of the mat. Toes come out, Malasana, Garland pose. Sink your hips down. It's totally okay if the heels are off the ground in this position. You can always bring a pillow or a block underneath your hips as well if you're feeling like you want to ground down a little bit more. Can you squeeze your shoulder blades down the spine? Bring your hands to heart center, connecting the breath and the beat of the heart with the hands. We're going to come down onto the ground again, with or without the help of the hands. Lower your hips down and then reach your feet forward, finding our low Navasana, our low boat pose. So the lower back is touching the ground, but the shoulders are off the ground. Take a breath in here, and then as you exhale, lift yourself up so the knees are bent. If you felt like more, you could extend your toes out long, but pull the shoulder blades back, lift the chest up. Breathe in to extend the toes to the front. As you exhale, lift yourself up. We're going to bring a little bit more pace here. Breathe in to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's go in our own time. So you can slow things down. If you want to speed things up a little bit, you can. Let's go for about 8 more. Firing up through the core, the hip flexors. Let's go 2 more. And then roll yourself down onto your back. Find Savasana for a moment. Let the toes and the knees and the hips kind of roll out. I like to move my feet around here, creating some ripples through the hips. And then when you're ready, walk feet behind the hips, hands by the sides. Breathe in as you push your feet into the ground to lift your hips up, Setu Bandhasana. Exhale to hold, bridge pose. Lower your hips down to the ground. We're going to rock up into a cross-legged position, but try find your way up to standing. So grab the back of the legs, cross the feet over, roll yourself up, cross the feet, lift yourself up. You can use your hands if you need. And then when you're ready, uncross the feet, come to standing. Okay, we're going to find a little bit more of a flow here. Use your next breath in, lift the arms above the head, press the palms together. As you exhale, hands through heart center, lean yourself forward halfway. So you're pushing your hips back, you're reaching the crown of the head forward. Make sure you have a little bend within your legs here. Shift your weight into your right foot. Left heel, squeeze it up to your glutes. And then push your heel away really slowly to find Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. Hold for a breath in. And then as you exhale, step back, but keep the lean of the upper body forward. Plant the left heel to the side. Open the chest towards the left. Imagine extended side angle pose here. We're leaning the crown of the head forward. We're pushing the left heel into the ground. Breathe in as you roll back through center. Come to your left toes. As you exhale, twist the heart to the right. You're drawing your right shoulder back. Left shoulder underneath. But just one more time. Breathe in, open to the left. Exhale to hold. You can always bring the right elbow down for support. If you felt like a little bit more, reach your fingertips to the front. Squeeze the shoulder blades down the spine. Hold for one more breath. Push to Warrior 2. Breathe in, lift up the chest. Exhale, sink into the hips. Soften the shoulders down. Lengthen the right leg, turn the right toe in. Breathe in. As you exhale, fold forward, Prasarita Padottanasana. When you're ready, walk your hands towards your left foot. Right hand is going to plant down. Breathe in. Left hand reaches high. Exhale to hold. This is just an option. If it doesn't quite feel super nice for you today, that's absolutely okay. You can keep the left hand down. As you're ready for it, breathe in as you walk to your right foot. Plant the left hand down. Exhale, twisted lunge. Right hand reaches high. Scoop the left shoulder underneath. Either left knee can come down. If you felt like more, left heel comes down. We step back into side plank. Right foot is in front of the left. Lift your hips high. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, plant the right hand down. Full plank position. Breathe in, shift your weight forward. As you exhale, Chaturanga. Elbows tuck in, come down onto your belly, untuck your toes. Breathe in, squeeze the glutes. Roll the shoulders back and down. As you exhale, push up onto your knees, tuck onto the toes, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Walk your feet up to Malasana, so feet outside the hands. Breathe in here, start to bend your knees. Exhale, sink your hips down, press the elbows into the insides of the legs. Breathe in as you lift your hips up, walk your feet underneath your hips. Exhale, fold forward. Lift all the way up to standing, breathe in. Exhale, hands by the sides. Tadasana, let's try that on the other side. Breathe in, lift the arms, press the palms together. Exhale, hands to Anjali Mudra, hands to heart center. Lean your upper body forward, landing about halfway. Feel the core engage here as you shift your weight into your left foot. Squeeze your right heel into your right glute. As slow as you can, try push your right heel to the back of the mat to find warrior 3. Keep lifting out of the left hip so the glute is engaged. Take a breath in here. As you exhale, right toes to the back, kind of leaning lunge, soften the shoulders down. Keep the hands to the heart, but lower the right heel down, pivot open to the right. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale to hold. Find your way back through center. Breathe in here. As you exhale, twist to the left. Sink into your hips, make sure that right leg is really long. Breathe in as you come back through center, right heel plants. Exhale to hold, Utthita Padusvakonasana. Remember, you can always bring the left elbow down. If you felt like more, hands can reach up towards kind of the ceiling-ish. Can you sink a little bit lower? Warrior 2, sneaky little space there, breathe in. Exhale, soften into the hips. Lengthen your left leg, take a deep breath in through the nose, turn your toes in. As you exhale, fold yourself forward, Prasarita Padottanasana. Maybe a little shift from side to side here before we move to the back. Walk your feet over, your hands over, left hand or left fingertips plant, breathe in, right hand reaches high to the sky. Exhale to hold. Walk your hands back to the front, breathe in, right hand plants, exhale, twisted lunge, left hand reaches high. You can bring the right knee down here, or you can bring the right heel down as you step your left foot back into Vashisthasana side plank. Take a deep breath in, lift the hips. Exhale, left hand comes down, plank position. Breathe in as you shift your weight forward. Exhale, Chaturanga, knees or toes. Breathe in, maybe baby cobra or upward facing dog with the thighs off the ground. As you exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a deep breath in through the nose, deep breath out through the nose. Use your next breath in either to walk, or you can hop your feet outside your hands. Bending your legs, exhale, Malasana. Breathe in as you lift your hips up. Walk your feet underneath your hips. Exhale to fold. Lift all the way up to standing. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, Tadasana, hands by the sides. We're going to flow back to down dog. Breathe in and lift. Exhale, bend your knees, fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, hands down, step or hop back through your plank or chaturanga, moving through this vinyasa sequence to head back. From here, we're going to move into a new sequence. We're only going to repeat it one time each side. A little bit of stretch in there, a little bit of heat in there as well. Use your next breath in, sweep your right toes high, three-legged dog. As you exhale, roll yourself forward, connect your right knee to your left elbow. Let's try that 2 more times. Breathe in and lift. Exhale, cross it under. One more, breathe in and lift. Exhale, cross it under. You're going to step your right outer edge of the foot to the outside of your left hand, roughly. Okay, so you're kind of in this funky pyramid shape here with the hips square to the ground. What you're going to start to do, I'm on fingertips here, start to bend your right knee, almost like you're coming into a pigeon pose with the right knee on the ground. And then as you exhale, lengthen your right leg again, push your hips back. Breathe in, shift your weight forward. Maybe lift up the heart, exhale, send the back. Modify as you need. You can always bring hands up onto blocks. Maybe you can always walk the right foot down a little bit more as well. Breathe in, shift forward. Exhale, lift up. Breathe in, shift forward. Exhale, shift up. Let's go 2 more. If there's any positions that you'd like to hang out in, go for it. Next time you're pressing back into this Parsvottanasana pyramid pose, you're going to start to open the body to the left. Left heel comes down into a modified side plank again. Right foot is extended out, or if you needed to, you can always bring the right knee in. Breathe in as you lift the left hand to the front. As you exhale, maybe you lower your hips down to ground, reaching your left hand back. Let's lift back up again. Breathe in to lift the hips. Exhale to lower the hips. 1 more. Breathe in to lift. Exhale to lower. This time we come all the way down. We're kind of facing the back corner of the mat with our legs at about 90 degrees. Hands to heart center. Take a breath in through the nose, lift up tall. You can have your knees bent here. As you exhale, lean in the direction of your right knee. Breathe in, come back. Turn to your left knee. Exhale to fold to the left. Breathe in, face the middle. As you exhale, lean forward down the center. Let's try that one more time. Breathe in. Exhale, turn to the right, folding over your right leg. Breathe in through center. Exhale to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale down the center. Maybe you hold out here. If you wanted a little bit more of a challenge, reach your fingertips away, so behind you. So you're in a bit more of an active position. Make sure your toes are facing up to the ceiling. Come back through center. Right hand and left hand plants to the front of the mat. Tuck left toes. Breathe in, 3-legged dog. Right toes lift. As you exhale, roll forward, right knee to nose. Set the right foot in between the hands. Slow transfer, warrior 3. Shifting your weight forward. Lifting yourself up so that your body is about parallel with the ground. Hug the lower rib cage in. Breathe in, lift yourself all the way up to standing. Left hand is going to come around the left ankle. As you exhale, Vrikshasana tree pose. You can always have your foot a little bit lower in the leg. So you either want it on the thigh or the shin or at the ankle. Try not to press onto the knee. Sometimes it can bring a little bit too much compression. Okay, options here. You can stay exactly where you are. If you felt like finding your eagle arms again, right elbow comes on top, left elbow comes onto the bottom. This is already quite challenging for our balance because your drishti, your eye focal point, is slightly compromised here. If you wanted more, take a breath in, lift the fingertips up. As you exhale, kind of rotate your fingertips to the right. Taking a circle that is slow and controlled as we turn to the left. And then come back up through center. Let's try one more. Breathe in. This time go to the left first. Exhale. So just like we did before. And if you totally fall out, that is so much fun. Good for you. That is cool. Embrace it. Okay, come back through center. Breathe in. Lift the left knee. Release the arms. As you exhale, cross the left foot over the right. Come to the outer edge of your feet. Slow sit down into Sukhasana, easy pose. So hips land down, low boat, low Navasana, just like we did before. This time, see if you can bring your hands through heart center, or find a few normal ones, and then we might add a rotation. So hold for a breath in. As you exhale, pull the knees up. Inhale out, exhale up, inhale out, exhale up. Inhale out, exhale out. If you want to add a twist, as you exhale, twist the arms towards the right. Inhale, come back. Exhale to the left. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Let's go 4 more. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. I don't know if you can hear my hips clicking, but that's what's happening. Inhale, hold at the bottom. Exhale, Shavasana. Lie yourself down, maybe wriggle out the feet, wriggle out the hips a little bit. Breathe in through the nose, breathe out through the mouth. Okay, feet by the hips, hands by your sides. Maybe you stay here or find bridge position again, Setu Bandhasana. Press the feet into the ground, engage the glutes as you lift your hips up. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Lower your hips to the ground. We're going to cross over our feet and either step back through a plank position. If you wanted more, you could jump back through your plank or your chaturanga. So grab the back of the legs, breathe in. As you exhale, cross your feet over, plant your hands, maybe hop back and flow through a vinyasa. If you would like, otherwise you can send it back. So it's important that you check in with your energy. Okay, you can slow things down, you can add things on, depending on what you need in your practice today. Breathe in, sweep the left toes high, three-legged dog. Exhale, roll forward, left knee to right elbow. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, roll forward. One more, breathe in, lift up. Exhale, roll forward. Step the left outer foot kind of to the outside of the right hand or slightly below. Of course, you can modify as you need. You can step it back a little bit more if you need. Breathe in as you roll forward, imagining like your pigeon pose, tapping the left knee down. As you exhale, lengthen the legs, push through the hands, roll yourself back. Breathe in, tap down. Maybe you lift the eye gaze, open the chest. Exhale, push back. Let's go 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more, breathe in. Exhale, hold here. Transfer your weight all the way into the left hand. Roll the right heel to the side. As you extend your left heel out, right hand up. Remember, at any point you can bring your left leg in as well, under your knee. Take a breath in, reach the right hand forward, lift the hips. Exhale, tap the hips down to the ground, reach the right hand back. 2 more. Breathe in to lift. Exhale to lower. Breathe in and lift. Exhale to lower, hold here. Turn yourself so you're kind of facing in between your legs. Hands come to heart center. Breathe in, lift tall, start to rotate to your left leg. Exhale, lean forward towards your left knee. Inhale, back through center. Turn to the right. Exhale to fold. Inhale through center, face the middle. Exhale, lean forward. You can always have the knees bent. Let's go 1 more. Breathe in. Exhale. Breathe in, turn to the right. Exhale. Inhale, back through center. Exhale to lean and tap. Maybe you hold here. You can always bring elbows or hands down. If you felt like a little bit more, you could reach the hands behind you, just lifting your chest up a bit more to help with this activeness. 1 more breath. Come back through center. We're going to turn back to the front. Plant the hands down, right toes tuck. Breathe in, 3-legged dog. Left toes lift high. Exhale, roll forward, left knee to nose. Step the left foot in between the hands. Slow transfer to warrior 3. So shift your weight into your left foot. Slowly starting to lengthen the left leg. Squeezing your shoulder blades down the spine. Breathe in as you lift your right knee up, stand up. Maybe the right ankle is clasped with the right hand as you push it against your left thigh. Remember, you can always go lower on the leg as well. Slight engagement through the glute to wrap the right knee behind you. And maybe this is where you stay today. This is already a really challenging balance position. Otherwise, left elbow comes on top of the right. You can always bring hands to shoulders. Take a breath in through the nose. As you exhale, take the fingertips to the left to begin with. You can make this action as small as you'd like, or you can make it bigger to practice more balance. So moving your ribs around, taking a few breaths to complete 1 circle. Breathe in to lift again. As you exhale, other direction. And this is probably quite hard because our drishti isn't focused on one point as we move. Okay. Once you get back to the top, hold. Breathe in, lift the right knee, release the hands. As you exhale, cross the right ankle on top of the left. Come to the outer edge of your feet. Feet are about hip width distance here. Take a breath in to lift up tall. As you exhale, start to bend your knees wide as you sink your hips back to the ground. Lower your hips down, extend your feet out. Now you can totally skip this part out. Otherwise, hands to heart center, you know where we're going. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, lift yourself up. Into a inhale to extend, exhale to lift. Breathe in and out. In, out, in, out. Let's go for a few more in your own time. If you'd like to add on a twist, doing so now. If you felt like more, you can keep the legs long. Whew, that's challenging. Let's go 4 more. Final push, last 2. And then when you're ready for it, collapse on the ground. Whew. Maybe wiggle out the hips, wiggle out the legs. Deep breath in through the nose. Deep breath out through the mouth. So good. When you're ready, walk your feet back to your hips, hands down by your sides. Take a deep breath in, start to lift your hips up, engage the glutes. Exhale to hold. We'll stay here for a little bit longer. If you felt like rocking up onto your shoulders, maybe fingertips clasped behind your back. As you push your pinky fingers down to the ground, this is going to give you a little bit more of a back bend. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, let the breath go. Release the hands. Lower yourself down to the ground. We're actually going to stay on our backs here, okay? If you'd like to pop on a layer or 2 before we kind of wind down, please feel free to as well. We're just going to start by crossing the right knee over the left. And then draw the knees towards you. First option, you can just take your left hand around the right ankle. If you felt like a little bit more, you can lift up. Maybe the right hand comes around the left ankle. And then you lower yourself to the ground. You want to think about squeezing your feet wide and then forward towards you, while also pushing your knees kind of back. So this is our Gomukhasana legs, our cow face pose legs. Let's take 2 more breaths. And then release the hands from around the feet. I'm going to offer eagle legs as a twist option so that the right knee is on top of the left. Take your right hand out to the side, deep breath in through the nose. As you exhale, cross your knees over to the left. Now at any point, if this is quite intense for the spine or the hips, then please feel free to unwind. Draw the right shoulder down to the ground. And then when you're ready, come back through center. We'll swap it out to the other side. So left thigh crosses on top of the right. Maybe right hand comes up towards the left ankle. Maybe the left hand clasps around. And then roll yourself back. Another modification for this pose is to find kind of reclined figure 4 where the ankle's on top of the thigh and you just reach behind to the leg. I know that Gomukhasana legs sometimes can be a little bit tricky to find in the body, so making sure this feels good for you. Noticing if any tension has crept up in the face or around the jaw. Wherever you are, let's take one more breath. Letting go of any tension that has arisen. And then just releasing the arms. Maybe you find the double clasp, left foot behind the right, left hand extends to the side, and then start to drop the knees over to the right. Sometimes it can be useful to kind of shuffle your hips to the left before you begin. And this double clasp with the legs encourages a deeper twist. When you're ready, coming back through center. Kind of final pose I'll offer is our reclined bound angle pose. So Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees out wide. If you did have a bolster or a pillow or something that you'd like to bring in, what can feel really nice is bringing the bolster or the pillow behind your hips. So your hips are on the ground, but then your lower back will come down. Gives a little bit more opening through the spine. You can even roll up a blanket to put underneath your head. We'll just stay here for another few cycles of breath before we head into Savasana. If you would like to stay here for another few minutes in your reclined bound angle pose, please feel free to. Otherwise, if you would like to find Shavasana, you can extend your legs out long. Or you can keep your knees bent, but just simply take the feet wide and knock the knees towards each other. And in this space, we want to create a sense of heaviness, of tamas. Slowness. And if you notice that your mind is still kind of bouncing around, connect with the breath. Take some longer, slower breaths, and then maybe, just maybe, those thoughts might slow down, the body might slow down. And just be here for a couple of minutes of quiet, and I'll let you know when it's time to transition out. you had time to stay in Savasana for a little bit longer, I so highly recommend you do so. Maybe you stay here and you just take an extra 10 or so breaths after this class is done. If this is where you'd like to finish your practice, we may just start to slowly wake up the body again, taking slightly deeper breaths. And then eventually making our way back up to a seat. Finding the seated position, which helps to lift our energy up again as we kind of transition out into the rest of the day, finding that sense of rajas, of activity. But again, we want to find that equilibrium, that balance between the two. I thank you so much for practicing with me today. Feels so good. And I don't know about you, but I'm vibing it. Let me know how you found the Mocha Flow. If you'd love to see more of these, please let me know. If you want to support me a little bit more, you can head over to Patreon as well. We have some longer classes and we get to have some more chats. Anyway, from me to you, thank you again. Namaste.